Talking about this Vulture article is this PR firm called Bunker 15 that was in charge of marketing Ophelia, which was this 2018 film, was a feminist retelling of Hamlet that starred Daisy Ridley. And the movie didn't do well. It came to early screenings with like 13 reviews, 7 of them were negative, and it was a Rotten Tomato score of about 46%. And Bunker 15 is accused of paying different reviewers at least $50 or more for each review, and incentivizing them giving a positive review for Ophelia.
Yeah, so here's the article, right?
And my biggest takeaway from that is, really, you're calling yourself a critic and your opinion is only worth $50?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, you sold out for gift card money. That's gift card money.
That's your boss is throwing you a pizza party energy.
So here's the article right here. I get it pulled up on the screen. Sorry, it's kind of maybe probably small for you people there. Kind of reading it. But as Nick mentioned here, so the company Bunker 15 kind of slid some critics some money here. And then it says Bunker 15 pays them $50 or more for each review. These payments are not typically disclosed. Rotten Tomatoes says it prohibits reviewing based on financial incentive. In October of that year, an employee of the company emailed a prospective reviewer about Ophelia, its Sundance film, and the feeling is that it's been treated a bit harshly by some critics. I'm sure sky-high expectations were the culprit, so the teams involved feel like it would benefit from more input from different critics. So about this story, you do have a lot of people who are eager to go. Like, you would think like they're talking about like Disney slipping people like 10, 20,000.
That was my first thought hearing the story just as like a headline on Twitter before I actually dug into the article, and it wasn't even for like any major studio.
Yeah. I guess you could say if a smaller studio is doing this, then you can say that maybe much bigger studios are doing this.
Possibly. They're just probably being way more sneaky about it. Like, we hear all the time about these like fan events that get put on as like the review embargoes for like official like licensed critics, and all these like influencer events that studios will put on now. They'll do like bring members of the cast out to meet fans, and that'll definitely skew reviews.
Yeah, so doing things like that is, even though they're not directly handing people money, is I guess a way to influence. Like, I mean, because I bet if you come out there, you go out there and do the whole thing, event, these premieres that a lot of these influencers and critics go to, and you go out and you trash the movie, and you're like, man, that movie fucking sucks. You know what I mean? I bet you're not going to be the first call they make to bring you back and go to another premiere if you do that, right? So I bet you that is a little bit of an incentive for you to maybe go like, okay, I maybe want to be a little softer on this movie as opposed to what I normally be, because I got invited to the premiere and I walked the red carpet and I did all these photos and all this other stuff. Did those things.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is that while I think Rotten Tomatoes is a very useful tool, and what it's intended for is to just kind of be like an aggregator of different reviewers, just take the like multiple like hundreds to thousands of reviews for different movies and just pile them all together and give it like a percentage score. And it eventually kind of just evolved into just being this marketing thing of like studios can now put like certified fresh on the poster or the freaking the hardcover physical media copy of it. They can put it as like a blurb on Twitter, is like, this movie is certified fresh now, and that's gonna like drive people to go see it and like the movie.
Yeah. In the article here, the Vulture article, he brings up two directors, brings up Quentin Tarantino, brings up Martin Scorsese. And they mention how, Martin Scorsese calls, Rotten Tomatoes a scourge, basically. He says to a content manufacturer and to the viewer, to an unadventurous consumer. And then Brett Ratner has called it the destruction of our business. Well, Brett Ratner, I mean, he's kind of destruction. Yeah, I mean, he's a destruction.
Motherfucker, you directed X-Men 3. You don't get to have an opinion on this.
But like you mentioned, like, the whole, movies marketing the Rotten Tomatoes score. as like, hey, 90% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, or the
Mhm.
fresh rating. And that kind of slapped their movies. And like you said, it being kind of brought in, there's no real individuality with critics. Like before,
Mhm.
you had Siskel and Ebert or Roger, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, Roger
Yeah,
Ebert and
yeah,
Richard Roper.
yeah.
Uh,
Siskel, Ebert, Robert Ebert, and Roper, and even more contemporary examples for guys like us, the Spill.com or the Double Toasting Crews.
Leonard Moulton, guys like that. Like
Mhm.
you had like a face to the opinion, but with something like Rotten Tomatoes, it being an aggregator,
Mhm.
it's just kind of like, okay, it's a bunch of these opinions, put together to make a score. So there's really no individuality there.
Mhm.
And then sometimes even when you read these reviews, even if it'll say like rotten on it, when you actually read the review, it's kind of like this
Yeah,
could be kind of in between. Like it's
yeah, and that's an inherent flaw in Rotten Tomatoes' actual formula, because it only classifies a review as either positive or negative, and then just averaging out those totals. It doesn't take into account the actual content of the review, which I think is a flaw in that. Because even probably just hypothetically, we put up our review for Haunting in Venice up on there. And even though what we were saying was mostly positive, we still had a lot of flaws to talk about it, and it would likely end up going into the rotten column on Tomatoes.
Yeah. Or probably a better example would be like what we did with Outlaw Johnny Black,
Mhm.
where we didn't hate it,
Mhm.
we didn't strongly dislike it, but it wasn't great. It's like, where would that land amongst
Mhm.
the tomato meter there? Or it's between like fresh and rotten, like you said, good or bad. And it kind of just gets put up there. And so, with this, the smaller kind of firm, which I think that if you're a critic and you're getting
Mhm.
paid off to give, I think you shouldn't be a critic anymore. I think
Mhm.
you should not
Yeah.
be, able to
Yeah.
do that anymore.
Yeah. And even going back to that is like, by Rotten Tomatoes' formula, you can get a film that is just all like 3 out of 5s or just 7 out of 10s, and if those are the only reviews you get, your movie is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, because people always try to bring up the like Captain Marvel. It's like, why does this have a 90% rating, and then something like, I don't know, like The Godfather has like 80%? It's like, you know what
well,
I
because
mean?
most of the reviews for Captain Marvel were probably like around the to three and a
Yeah,
half to 7 out of 10.
yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, it was decent, whatever, 6, 7 out of 10, or like you said, 3 out of 5, and okay, again, that's positive. So it's going to get put on the site, and then it's going to get fresh, and then boom, there you go. It's going to have this glowing, fresh, rating of 90 something percent there, because it's like you just give it a mediocre review
Mhm.
to, you didn't outwardly despise it, so it's going to count as
Mhm.
positive, and then it's going to get counted as a positive movie there. Um, so it's not really that much of
Mhm.
like a dun dun dun, like, wow, this is the breaking entertainment story there of like
it's
critics taking payoffs
yeah,
from
it's
studios.
not the smoking gun that people who are very I'd say very hot-headed about movie reviews, like especially for the movies that they don't like that get positive reviews. This isn't the smoking gun that you think it is. This is just kind of common practice.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really not that. In Rotten Tomatoes, there's certain things on there. I don't, I only bring up Rotten Tomatoes
Mhm.
when I say like, well, I mean, I guess some people are liking it because it has this score, and I guess critics
Mhm.
generally are liking it. I don't ever let that sway my opinion one way or
Mhm.
the other. If I like something, I like it. If I don't like it, I
Yeah.
don't like it. I think like
Yeah,
even
it's like
you,
yeah, like one of my favorite movies is Freddy versus Jason. And that has like a 30 on Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah, and like the same thing when you, I think when what was that doesn't The Whale have a very high percentage on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, I think that has like an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's
Yeah, or
something
it's
in that
60,
range.
64%,
Oh,
64%,
yeah.
which I did not
Yeah.
really like
Mhm.
The Whale. I didn't really like The Whale.
Yeah.
And then I know you did Amsterdam, which got a really glowing review. Well, no, it didn't get a glowing review out of the film festival. It didn't
Mhm.
actually. People said that was pretty bad. And you
Yeah,
agreed with them.
yeah, it
Uh,
got terrible reviews out of the festival circuit, and even on Rotten Tomatoes, it was only like 32%.
yeah. So yeah, I usually don't let it really kind of
Mhm.
sway me usually about it. I just kind of bring it up to kind of get a general temperature of what people are kind
Mhm.
of feeling about this, maybe about the movie. That's about it. Do you think that like movies should stop using the whole Rotten Tomato score? Like, this is this percentage on Rotten Tomatoes, or that it's become a thing to replace. Like before, you used to have the thumbs up, thumbs down with Siskel and Ebert. You know, that was the thing. You know, like
Yeah,
if the movie had that, it was like, you know.
Yeah, you used to have the like thumbs up, thumbs down. You used to see like the various clippings from different reviewers from a lot of like different news outlets, and even now, movie studios are just throwing like the blurbs that you see on Twitter onto their movie posters when they're looking for like cut a like press like critics are saying such and such about our movie.
Yeah.
And I think that at the very least, the formula that Rotten Tomatoes uses should be very, very highly scrutinized. It should probably be completely overhauled, because I still think it is a very useful tool, and it has kind of just become this facet of the film industry just after so many years.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it really, like you say, it really is not the smoking gun. I was expecting a little bit more juicy stuff, I guess, from the article, I guess, kind of going on.
I was a little disappointed when I read the article. I was like, really? That's it?
Yeah. So that's kind of basically what there. But if, you know, if there's a big case, like, you know, you have something like Disney giving $5,000 or something like that to some critic.
Zack Snyder paying critics $10,000 for a good review.
Yeah, that's something. You know, that's kind of
that's the smoking gun I'm looking for.
You know, people getting a Target gift card basically money to fucking give some film Ophelia, Daisy Ridley.
People giving out a $25 gift card to Hot Topic is not the smoking gun I'm looking for.
And like whatever. I mean, you can get that probably like a swag bag when you go to one of these premieres or something like that. You know, like that's it. You know. And I didn't even know what the fuck. I've never even seen Ophelia. Like this movie came out.
I think that was another one of those movies that year was just kind of just so crazy and so crazy busy for me that it just kind of slipped by.
Yeah, this movie came out in 2018.
I think that was like the summer I was working night shifts every couple weeks, so I was just dead to the world.
Yeah, so I've never even seen this movie, so I can't even really get my opinion on it on that. So, but yeah. So, yeah, that was the Vulture article there.
Yeah, that was the news.
Yeah. All right. You want to do this Jonathan Majors fight, or you want to do the Drew Barrymore thing?
I think there's more meat to the Drew Barrymore story, because again, Jonathan Majors is like, to me, it looks staged, but you never know nowadays, and you can only really say so much until his trial actually goes through.
I mean, I don't know. I could pull up the fight real quick if you want, just to look at it.
All right. What the hell not?
Okay, so this is the fight. In case you hadn't seen, so Jonathan Majors. This is a TMZ video.
Yep, TMZ breaking scoops.
Breaking scoops here. And you see two kids fighting, and then out of nowhere, here comes what's his character's name?
Friggin' Kang.
Here comes Kang.
Freaking Dame from Creed 3.
Dame Creed wearing his old man cap, his Sherlock Holmes cap, breaking up the fight. And I have seen nobody say that this fight looks real. Nobody. Not one person thinks that this is real. Everybody thinks that this is completely staged.
I mean, go back a little bit. Let me see like the actual scuffle that we see on the ground.
Okay.
I mean, they're making contact. I mean, it looks like two kids who probably don't actually know how to fight, which, well, let's be honest, that's probably like 99% of the world.
Yeah. So, you know, and then he comes up, I don't exactly know where he comes from. I don't know why this dude, you also see a dude recording with a laptop. You see that? Did you see that? Like this dude.
Wait, go back.
You see it? Hold on, he's gonna come up. This dude right here, he's recording with a whole.
No, he looks like he's just like holding his iPad in his chest, and he has his phone like right above it.
So what does he do? So what's he got it flipped out for? The iPad. What is he doing?
Fuck,
I see. Okay, he's got the phone in his hand, but then he's got like a laptop or iPad or something. Like, what the hell is he doing with that? Like, he's got that flipped out, like he's recording it too. And then so you see adults. I mean, these people, I don't know, they look like adults. Like this dude looks like an adult. I don't see his face
Mhm.
that much, but he looks like
Yeah,
one.
you can't really see anybody's face. I think it's blurred out for legal reasons, but it's like some of them you could probably say they're adults here. It's like really letting these kids go to town on each other like that.
Yeah, I
It's
guess. I mean,
it's like there's not enough context in this video to like say one way or the other whether or not this is staged. It's just some interesting questions. I mean, this
yeah,
isn't I mean, I look at this and I don't see like a Jussie Smollett situation where it's like a completely staged thing.
yeah. You're gonna find out these two kids are Nigerians, and he's been paid two
They're
Nigerians he
paid
paid.
off.
Um,
Allegedly.
yeah. So the story is
Allegedly.
like, so it's these two high school girls. These are two high school girls
Oh,
fighting here. This is by Complex.
okay.
So it says on Tuesday, September 12th, it was reported that a major intervened when he saw two students getting into an intense scrap outside of an In-N-Out location near Hollywood High School. When the 34-year-old spoke with TMZ about it the same day, he suggested he didn't want to see anyone get hurt. But when footage of the incident surfaced on Thursday, the day before his domestic violence trial was set to begin in New York, some weren't too convinced the fight was legitimate. In the video, the actor can be seen running over to the two girls after they attacked each other. At one point, he says it's not that deep and tells them it's okay, as reportedly holds them back from one another. So it's not a whole lot of detail kind of going on here with
Mhm.
that. I was making kind of because talking about it in the group chat that we have. It's like, can you just imagine like Jonathan Majors like breaking up the two and going like, you don't have to do this. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do this. Young sisters, you ain't got to do
just
this.
start, just starts holding him back like Chris Pratt in Jurassic World, just like you ain't got to do this. You ain't got to do this. He's
Um,
literally doing it. He's doing it.
yeah. So yeah. What do you think about it? Just looks staged. What do you think about it?
I mean, nothing in the video really screams out that it's staged to me, at least not immediately. But the timing of this and this video's release is a little bit sus at best, I'll say.
Mm.
Yeah, you're right. That motherfucker is holding his goddamn laptop.
I told you he's holding his
I was like,
laptop,
what?
man.
Shit.
Yeah.
I can't say one way or the other.
I guess the timing of it, like the article, Complex article mentioned, this was a day before his trial was set to begin in New York, and people don't know he's got a domestic violence case that's still pending right now, and see how that all is going to play out. And then I've heard numerous reports, a lot of stuff going around that first people saying the case got dismissed because the woman left the country and everything like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but no, the case is still going on, and he's still on trial for it. But just seeing all these different memes to come out of it. This is I shared one meme that was really fun. I'm gonna share it on because this one really had me dying. But yeah, so do you think it's just like the time of it is
I
just that's what
I
people have to think?
I think that's what it is, the timing, and it is well known that he is currently pending trial for domestic abuse charges. So that does lead to a lot of suspicion, especially with a case like this.
Yeah. So hold on, let me see if I can pull it up real quick on camera there because this meme this had me kind of really dying and funny there. That I just was really laughing at. Yeah, but it's so you have this where he's got his, he's kind of separating the two people here, and he's got like that old man cap on him. Like it's very simple, but it's absolutely hysterical. Like it's just fucking funny because that's basically just the whole situation played out there. Yeah, so I thought that was really good, really funny there.
That's good.
Yeah, so yeah, but I don't know. The timing of it is awfully convenient, I guess.
Yeah, the timing sus at best.
Try to make himself kind of look good, revamp the public image again. Because yeah, man, Jonathan Majors, he was on a meteoric rise. I'm telling you, like he was in the MCU stuff, and he was in Creed.
Yeah, he's like set up to be like the next MCU big bad, and that's work for at least the next 5 years. And Creed 3, which is incredible, and he gives a great performance. And you also have that movie, Magazine Dreams, that is set to come out later this year. That has apparently some early Oscar buzz from, I think it was either from Cannes or the Venice Film Festival.
Yeah. So Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see
Mm.
if it turns out to be fake there. All right. So, last story of the day is going to be the Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore, who went through kind of a whirlwind of
Mhm.
back and forth kind of decision
Yeah,
making.
all over the course of what, like 2-3 days.
Yeah, she went from "I'm bringing the show back" to "Oh,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm still going to bring
So
the show back though."
I'm bringing my show back. I'm bringing it back. There's a lot more crew depending on it than the writers without whom I can't make the show. But fuck them. I'm gonna bring the show back anyway. To apologizing for it, and now I'm not doing it anymore. But
Yeah.
sorry, you scab. The damage is already done.
And this was her apology, and people love Drew Barrymore. A lot of people love Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore was,
Oh yeah.
she's a sweetheart to a lot of people. So this is her apology video right
Okay.
here. I have. Uh,
I deeply apologize to unions. I deeply apologize.
Damn, this shit sounds like a Taliban video. It sounds like damn, like like
You can
Jesus.
tell that her like agent or her lawyer is like has a gun to her head off screen because I love Drew Barrymore too, but you are not this good an actor.
So let me continue the video here.
I wanted to own a decision so that it wasn't a PR protected situation, and I would just take full responsibility for my actions. I know there's
Still gonna do it though.
nothing I can do that will make this okay for those it is not okay with. This is bigger than me, and there are other people's jobs on the line.
Okay, deflecting blame.
I want to just put one foot in front of the other and make a show that's there for people, regardless of anything else that's happening in the world.
Like paying your writers a fair shake.
So this was the apology she made a little bit, and then now she's reversed that decision, so she's not going to bring the show back. So I'm going to pull up an article here that gives her quote of her not going to bring the show back. But yeah, like I said, she went through a whirlwind. So there's a strike going on, WGA strike going on. That's why a lot of late night shows are not airing anymore.
It's SAG-AFTRA and the WGA are both on strike currently. It's like past 100 days. I think a little over a week ago.
Yeah. So that's why you don't see any more late night shows on TV because there's no writers there. And there are some decisions. There are some people who are bringing back, like Bill Maher. Real Time with Bill Maher is coming back. He hasn't changed it. Yeah, that's true. So he hasn't changed his decision by anything. His show is still coming back. Drew Barrymore was one amongst those people that was also coming back, but she's reversed that decision. So here's the statement she's made that says that it will no longer return until the strike is over. Hold on here. Let me pull this up. Come on. Okay, it says, she says, I've listened to everyone and I'm making the decision to pause the show's premiere until the strike is over. I have no worries to express my deepest apologies to anyone I've heard, and of course to our incredible team who works on the show and has made it what it is today. We really tried to find our way forward, and I truly hope for a resolution for the entire industry very soon. Yeah, but like you said, the damage is kind of already done, right? I mean,
the damage is done, and now the public opinion about Drew Barrymore is you're a scab.
Yeah. Have you seen kind of equal amounts with her and Bill Maher? Seems like I haven't really seen that much Bill Maher stuff kind of going on.
People have always kind of hated Bill Maher, especially.
So it's kind of expected.
It's like expected. I mean, he's vocally very anti-union. He's vocally very anti-strike. It's like, yeah, you think you deserve a living wage because you write on my show for which I get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah,
it's like that kind of just superior attitude. And also, he's a fucking moron.
Yeah,
and an asshole. So fuck him.
I've seen clips from his show. Yeah, when he does his podcast, like he did one recently with like Jim Gaffigan, and Jim Gaffigan was kind of just baffled, but because they were talking about the strike, and he was talking about like, I mean, you can kind of see both sides of the strike, right? I mean, the writers and the people in Jim Gaffigan was kind of baffled by it. He didn't really know what to say. He was like, Yeah, but I still think the writers are in the right and they should get paid and everything like that. And then Bill Maher was kind of making a point of trying to say, like, if you write bad stuff, you know what I mean, and you don't have a job. But this is the thing about the writer strike is this is people who already did the work. They're not getting the money they did.
That's the big issue with the strike and why it's gone on for this long. It's because studios aren't paying the same kind of residuals because of streaming, because they don't take into account any metrics when it comes to calculating residuals, and that's one of the big issues.
Yeah, and they don't make the streaming numbers public, so they don't make that. So it's hard to get residuals.
They're happy to give those make those numbers public when they have a huge hit, like a fucking Wednesday or Squid Game or even a One Piece now.
Yeah, One Piece. Yeah, so
they're happy to publicize those numbers.
And I think with just recently, Little Mermaid, I think that was like they said that there was an article saying that was like the highest,
the highest streaming movie on Disney Plus this year, and and we're day 120 into the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strike, so off.
Yeah. So you see that, and then there were people when that came into the taping of the Drew Barrymore show that had the WGA pins.
That had like the WGA had the SAG-AFTRA pins that had a merchandise supporting the strike, and they were kicked out.
Yeah, for that they were kicked out.
Not a great fucking look, Drew. I'm starting to sympathize with Ghostface in the first movie.
So that's not a good look.
It's definitely making my next rewatch of Scream a little bit cathartic.
And I guess you're right. I guess the difference between Drew Barrymore and Bill. I mean, Drew Barrymore has more of a nicer persona in the media, in the public, as opposed to someone like Bill Maher does. And then when I've seen kind of some clips of her show, the Drew Barrymore show, like when she's had guests on, and she's been very, it gets very emotional, I guess sometimes, like when she had like MGK on, and she was, talking to him. I think she also had Dylan Mulvaney. I think she had her on the show. So that got very emotional. So I guess you just expect more from that, and I guess the damage is kind of already done there with her deciding to come back and then apologize and but I'm still going to do the same thing and I'm going to come back. And then
it's like. Yeah, if you're gonna apologize and you change your course of action, you're not fucking apologizing.
Yeah.
You're just trying to save face. You're trying to do damage control for your shit decision.
Yeah. And I mean, is she going to retain that same audience, you think, after the strike is over?
I mean, let's be honest. What is the real audience for daytime TV? It's probably people that aren't really following the news of the strike or not following it on the same level of depth as, you, me, or anybody who's on film Twitter is.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's very true. So, I mean, it might take a little bit of a hit, but I mean, the people that are probably really into unions, really into strikes, are probably not the main, probably core audience of who's watching the Drew Barrymore show, probably. I mean, so yeah, I probably think that. That was Drew Barrymore there.
Yeah, it's like she found out firsthand the scale of fuck around and find out.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty much it. Unless you wanted to do the Danny Masterson thing, unless you want to do Russell Brand, we can head out, raid somebody.
I'm sick of talking about it. It's like, for as widely known as the kind of person Danny Masterson is, thank God he is actually getting sentenced, especially considering the people behind him, like allegedly the Church of Scientology.
Yeah, I guess they were like, man, we can't save you. Yeah,
throw him to the wolves.
Yeah, and plus, like, I don't know, who the fuck are you? What have you been in lately? You ain't doing nothing. Who the fuck? You ain't Tom Cruise. You ain't getting no big movies. Fuck you.
You ain't saving theaters.
Yeah, you ain't the president of movies. You're fucking Danny Masterson.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, what are you doing for us lately? Yeah. So yeah.
Allegedly, we should probably say.
Can you say allegedly? Do you have to still say allegedly even if he's convicted?
Oh, right. Never mind. I'm talking about like the the people that were probably helping him,
Oh,
especially
right.
stay out of prison for so long.
Oh yeah.
The real hilarious
yeah,
shit is all of the letters that were sent to the judge about his character from Ashton Kutcher, from Mila Kunis, from Kurtwood Smith, and I think I'm trying to remember the actress who plays the mom on That 70s Show. It's Debbie.
yeah. What's her name? Peggy in the show.
Yeah, Peggy.
Yeah, I can't remember.
That 70s Show.
Yeah, I can't remember the actress's name on it. I kind of forgot there. I think it's something like that. Kitty. It's Kitty. Deborah.
Kitty.
Jo
Deborah Jo Rupp. And all
Kitty.
of them sent letters to the judge presiding over Danny Masterson's case about, what a good guy he was, how the person that they knew when they were working on That 70s Show would have never done stuff like that. Basically, sending letters to the judge in order to try and gain some leniency for Danny Masterson. And they rightfully got fucking roasted for it.
Yeah, it was So Deborah Jo Rupp, Kurtwood Smith, who plays Red Foreman on the show, Mila Kunis, and Ashton Kutcher. And people were kind of shocked because Ashton Kutcher, he's like,
he's like president of a company that was devoted to ending child sex trafficking, and he is also friends and giving character statements for a convicted rapist.
Yeah, and then they did an apology.
Convicted serial rapist.
So they did an They did an apology video. Him and Mila Kunis, his wife. And I'd say the weirdest kind of reaction from it, I think, hearing the story is just kind of people more so praising like Topher Grace. It's like, hey, you didn't support a rapist, so you get extra bonus. Like,
I mean, take whatever support you can. I mean, that's just like the bare minimum of like deserving praise. It's like not supporting the former co-star who was a convicted rapist.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, I don't know Topher Grace. I mean, I don't know. I mean, cool guy. Maybe
seems like a cool dude. I liked his character when I wasn't big on That 70s Show, but I liked his character. I think his take on Eddie Brock has kind of aged pretty well with Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, and I loved him when he was in The Predator. I thought he was really good in that. So I always thought he should have gotten a little bit more opportunity movie-wise, but it's like this need to like praise this celebrity when this other celebrity is shitting, like you don't know anything about Topher Grace. It's like, hey, I always was right about That 70 cast, That 70 Show cast, because I always really liked Topher Grace, and hey, he didn't support a rapist, so I'm right about him being a good person. And it's like, you don't know that. You don't know this fucking dude. Like, what the fuck are you saying that for? You don't know this fucking
guy. At least he's never publicly, which I guess is more than I could say for the rest of the cast.
Yeah, so it's like I just don't really see the need to do that. I don't understand that really. That need to just latch on to somebody to praise or to like, you know what I mean? Is it the bare minimum not to support maybe a possible rapist? I don't know, maybe.
I guess so.
Yeah. And then people are digging up stuff by Ashton Kutcher, like when he was on Punk'd, like when he punked Hilary Duff, and he mentioned how
it was like one of those girls that we're all waiting on to turn 18, which it was gross then, and it's still gross now.
Yeah. So people bring up kind of stuff like that with him, and then people bring up the fact that when Mila Kunis first got on That 70 Show, she was 14, and he was Ashton Kutcher was 19, I think, at the time. Even though Mila Kunis, she did lie about her age to get on the show, but the cast that knew she was 14, like he knew she was 14. And then he had made a bet with Danny Masterson, the tongue kisser, during the first kiss they ever had on That 70 Show, which was her very first kiss ever because she was only 14 at the time.
Gross.
Yeah. So there's that. So there you go. There. So that's Danny Masterson.
Thank you. I'm gonna try and wash my brain of that knowledge. I
was surprised he got 30 years, not because I don't think he deserves 30 years, because like 30 years is a lot. I mean, people who kill people, celebrities who kill motherfuckers don't even get 30 years. So I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, it's like that case had to be solid in order to get that many years. Because we've seen guys convicted of SA get way lighter sentences, like a Brock Turner, who got convicted and only got like 6 months.
Yeah,
and served maybe 3 of them.
Yeah, so that was kind of surprising. So yeah, like I said, the case must have been really, really solid. Yeah, for them to do that. Yeah, and then Russell Brand, he got accused of sexual assault accusations as well. Allegations.
Yeah, multiple accusations. A lot of minors.
Yeah, which honestly, it's really not that surprising. I mean, out of all the people, really, it's not that shocking. I mean, because Russell Brand, I mean, he's talked about living a very hedonistic lifestyle back before he really did a whole big rebrand. And
this hedonistic lifestyle until he like rebranded himself as wannabe Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and he's kind of shifted, and like I want to tell you, so the conspiracy theory. This is the conspiracy theory, is that he rebranded to more of a conservative viewpoint. Because when I first started seeing him speak more about politics and stuff, he was kind of a little bit more left wing type stuff. Like he would talk about the royal family, and he would say "fuck the royal family." Like he didn't like the royal family at all. But now he's very more pro royal family. He won't really talk about it that much. And then, he would have these talks with Candace Owens and talk about the riches of the rich and the 1%, and they hoard all the resources and everything like that. But now he's kind of really more switched into more of a conservative type viewpoint.
Yeah, he grifting.
Yeah. And then, so the conspiracy theory is that, and if people want to know more about his whole like rebrand, the Carbonacle, he does a great breakdown on Russell Brand. Maybe I'll link his video in the description below. He's got a couple of videos on Russell Brand. He's a YouTuber. But so the theory is that he did this because he knows that the right wing audience will support him through these accusations. Like he knew the accusation was going to come out eventually, and that he's going to cultivate this big audience of people who all you got to do is build up a podcast, talk about the Matrix, talk about these huge outside forces.
Yeah, it's
the
like
media is evil.
Yeah. It's like there's overwhelming evidence against Andrew Tate, and he still has this massive audience.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You got to talk about like the media is biased, is evil, the Matrix, the media lies, boom, there you go.
The woke left is attacking me.
Yeah, and then boom, there you go. And then so anything that comes out against you, hey, you can always just say, hey, the media is lying, the media is evil. They always lie about everything, right? You can't believe it because the media said so. When have they ever been right about anything? So boom, there you go. You develop that audience. Say the media is always lying about everything, and once you believe the media is always lying about everything, then nothing up against you can be true. So there you go. You can't, you have this audience that's always going to be dedicated to you no matter what. Somebody said something funny on Twitter. Somebody said all Jeffrey Epstein had to do was start a podcast before the allegations come out. If he did that, he would have cleaned up. Nobody would have believed that he, all the right wing people, nobody would have believed that he actually had this island with all these boys and all these other people on there. Like nobody would have believed it. Everybody would have just gone like, oh no, it's fucking lying media. There you go. If he just had all he had to do was just start a podcast.
I think it's funny, but I hate how kind of right you are.
But I forgot who said that. I forgot. Somebody said that on Twitter. I forgot who said it. But shout out to them.
Shout out to them if you're watching. Leave a comment below or when this goes up on YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah.